Hi, my name is Annie Soler, and I'm the coordinator of campus ministry and service learning here at Stuart Country Day School of the Sacred Heart. This is my 5th academic year working here, but I'm actually an alum. I'm a lifer. I attended Stuart for 15 years and graduated in 2002. And I'm really excited to be working with all the girls here at Stuart. I work with the students from the EC program all the way through 12th grade, providing them lots of different opportunities related to the goals of the Sacred Heart, which you might be able to see behind me. But specifically, a lot of my work focuses on the third goal, Goal 3. For those of you who don't know, the third goal of the Sacred Heart is educating students to a social awareness which impels to action. So a lot of the work that I do focuses on providing students with the opportunity to learn about, both from an academic setting but also a personal setting, social injustices and human rights issues that exist both domestically and internationally, and then helping them provide them with opportunities to be able to affect immediate and long-term change. The community service specifically has been part of our implicit curriculum the entire time that the school has been in existence, and then over the years it's really developed. A few years ago I had the opportunity to go to San Francisco and talk with the schools in San Francisco and the schools in Atherton, and I learned a lot about what the programs are that they offer. And one of the things that they do is their days that focus on service are called Goal 3 days, and I really liked how that sounded because it has this way of connecting very explicitly to the goals and criteria with what you're doing that day. And so in the lower school and the middle school specifically, the entire school kind of shuts down in the sense that kids are not going to classes, but that doesn't mean learning stops. It just looks different. In the EC level, they do a lot of different things, but one of my favorite things that they did last year, we as a school all worked together to support the community that receives meals at the Trenton Loaves and Fishes. That's an organization that serves a meal the last 2 Saturdays of every month, because that is oftentimes when people who are on food stamps run out of access to food. And so these are people who are working people. They're working very hard. They are not homeless usually. They have places to live. However, they, even if they have 1 or 2 jobs, are still struggling to make ends meet. And so this organization provides these meals. And so Stuart has been working with this organization for almost 40 years. And as an entire school, we work together to provide a meal for 800 people at the end of January and provide over 1,000 lunch bags for people to take with them. Specifically last year in the early childhood program, they wanted to get involved, and so what the little kids decided to do was they put together a lemonade stand that they had up by Mater, and they sold lemonade for a couple days, and the kids had the opportunity to learn about how to make lemonade. So that's chemistry, you're pouring things and mixing them together, and then they would charge people, I think maybe a nickel or a quarter, I can't remember, and they had to count the money, and they had little cash registers, and they had, they learned some customer service skills, and then the money that they earned, they used to purchase gloves and scarves and hats that then they were donated to the guests at Loaves and Fishes. So that was a really cool little service project that is very Goal 3 oriented that the EC kids got to participate in. In the lower school last year, we took a signature experience that already exists called Kane's Arcade Cardboard Challenge, and we expanded it into a Goal 3 opportunity for our students. So historically, the students have participated in this national project called Kane's Arcade Cardboard Challenge, where they spend time designing different structures. Specifically, they start on paper and they come up with the engineering that is needed to create arcade games, and then they work together in teams with the older students pairing with the younger students. And then on the day of the cardboard challenge, they get cardboard and masking tape and scissors and crayons and markers, and they build these huge structures that are all these really fun games, and then everyone goes and plays their arcade games. So last year we decided to expand this model a bit, and we spent some time talking with them about inclusivity and how to make something like these arcade games accessible to everyone. And then from there we invited our friends from Hamilton Grove Senior Center, Acorn Glen Senior Center, and Visitation Home for Adults with Disabilities, and they came and they played our arcade games. And so the students had to spend some time thinking about, well, if somebody is sitting in a wheelchair, can they really crawl on the floor through a tunnel. So the girls came up with some really creative ways to adapt their games to make sure they were inclusive for everyone. And then we talked about this several times prior to the arcade challenge and how we could do this, and then afterwards spent time talking about, you know, what it felt like to be able to play these games with some folks that you might not get a chance to see every day. And it was amazing. The kids loved it, the seniors and the adults loved it, and they won prizes that the kids made, and everyone had so much fun together, and they already asked when they're coming back this year. So we're going to be doing it again this year, which I'm really excited about. In the middle school, the goal 3 days look a little bit different. They are by grade level, and so each grade has the opportunity to focus on a particular topic that is connected to their curriculum. So for example, the 8th grade, a big piece of their curriculum is looking at civics and current laws and structures that are in place that impact the community. So we have a long-standing relationship with an organization called CYO, the Catholic Youth Organization, and Stuart has been partnering with them, specifically their preschool program, for over 35 years. And the partnership that we have in the middle school level, one of the ways that we connect with that organization is through the 8th grade. And so the 8th grade students in the fall go to the CYO, and they're placed in various classrooms, and they spend the whole day being teachers' assistants and spending time with the preschoolers and having fun with them and helping them learn and, you know, developing relationships with them. Additionally, throughout the year, these kids come and visit us. We have a Halloween party for them, an Easter party, and then finally in the spring, the 8th graders also have the opportunity to host a field day for them where all the preschoolers come and the girls put together a huge field day event. And they run through hula hoops and tunnels and jump around and have a lot of fun together. And so this is connected to the curriculum because the girls spend time talking about, how is our education system in this country funded? Who has access to what resources? What is a quality education? What does that mean? What does that look like? And not only are they reflecting on their own personal experience and the privileges that they have, but identifying how some people do not have access to the same resources, and given the privilege of education, what is their responsibility as they get older in order to affect change. In the upper school, we don't have formal Goal 3 days, but instead we provide a whole bunch of other types of service opportunities that are really focused on Goal 3. One of our signature experiences is a service immersion trip called the Appalachian Service Project. We also have service immersion trips to Camden called the Urban Challenge, and last year we went to the Navajo Nation through a program called the First Nations Immersion Program. And so these are just some of the many programs that are offered in the upper school. But one of the things that I love about the immersion trips in particular is the students apply to participate on these programs, and so it's by volunteer basis. It is selective because we only have so many spots available per trip, and so the students who come are really excited and really committed, and it's a really intensive program. We leave, we either fly or drive someplace, and we live an intentional community together. We spend our days discussing things with each other, reflecting, processing, being excited, being angry, having conversations with people in the community, as well as doing direct service, which looks like a whole number of different things. So that might be helping to restore a home, or that might be serving in a food pantry or a food bank. But it also really comes down to the relationships that the students develop with the people that they're serving, as well as the relationships that the students develop amongst each other. And the kinds of conversations that happen at the high school level around service and social justice and about privilege and responsibility are really incredible, and they really have the opportunity to understand how complex the world is, and that there's a lot of different factors that contribute to social injustice, but that they are not powerless to be able to affect change somehow. So those are just some of the wonderful programs that we do across the entire school level, as well as at each of the different divisions. And it's really cool to see how the progression as the girls get older, the depth of the conversations that they're able to have. If you look at a student who has been through our program, and by the time their senior year, the kinds of critical questions that they're asking versus maybe some of their peers who have not had the opportunity to attend Stuart and go through these programs is pretty remarkable. And I really think that combining the social justice piece with connecting it to the curriculum, having the opportunity to reflect, and relying on your community really helps to create a strong woman who has a voice, who knows what her voice is, she knows what her values are, and then really becomes a leader and is able to really go out into the world and affect change. And it's pretty incredible as to who these women become.